Hey, Epic. Pastor Craig here. It's December 11th, so we are officially 2 weeks out from Christmas. Excited to join you all on these devotions through the season of Advent. Now, as way of introduction to our passage today, I'm going to read out of this book that I read out of for the preschool yesterday, this humorously large book on Jesus's birth. Now, I lift this up because typically when we look at the birth of Jesus stories, they start with one of the Gospels. But this book begins where we will spend some time together today, and that is with the prophet Isaiah. It says, long ago, a man named Isaiah told people that Jesus would come and help them. Isaiah knew that Jesus is God's son. So Isaiah came 800 years before Jesus. But he prophesied that God's people would receive a Messiah, the one who would bring about light in the darkness, that would establish God's reign and rule here on earth. So our passage today comes from Isaiah chapter 9. I know Annie had read Isaiah 7 a couple of days ago. So we'll pick up in chapter 9, verses 1 through 7. I'll be reading out of the NIV if you'd like to follow along. Nevertheless, there will be no more gloom for those who were in distress. In the past, he humbled the land of Zebulun and the land of Naphtali, but in the future he will honor Galilee of the nations by the way of the sea beyond the Jordan. The people walking in darkness have seen a great light. On those living in the land of deep darkness, a light has dawned. You have enlarged the nation and increased their joy. They rejoice before you as people rejoice at the harvest, as the warriors rejoice when dividing the plunder. For as in the day of Midian's defeat, you have shattered the yoke that burdens them, the bar across their shoulders, the rod of their oppressor. Every warrior's boot used in battle and every garment rolled in blood will be destined for burning, will be fuel for the fire. For to us a child is born, to us a son is given. And the government will be on his shoulders, and he will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. Of the greatness of his government and peace there will be no end. He will reign on David's throne and over his kingdom, establishing and upholding it with justice and righteousness, from that time on and forever. The zeal of the Lord Almighty will accomplish this. Sometimes the Old Testament can be a little hard to read because it's written in a different style and assumes some knowledge of the 200 years